How's everybody else?
Everyone I associate with is thriving in abundance, limitless.
To the ethos, it's Howleen. Hello, welcome. It is Howleen, and I am so overjoyed because my team won. Yes, the Aces won against Fever. Now, let me say from the outset, A'ja Wilson did not have a very efficient game, and neither did the other star on the other team. They were both shooting 1 for 1,000 in the first half. But I felt like Asia's was more rooted in the fact that she was overthinking it. It's what I said. It appears as if sometimes A'ja be forcing it a bit. And it's like, just take a beat. In the way that Aaliyah Boston demonstrated taking a beat. She was very, you know what Aaliyah Boston reminded me out there on the court? She reminded me of a refined Kara Braxton. If Kara Braxton had the ability and the time, she would have been Aaliyah Boston. But beyond that, Kara Braxton was a Mickey Ficky champion. So it really don't matter all that much. But what I was seeing today, Aaliyah Boston is very calm, very poised in her demeanor, especially in the first 3 quarters of the game. She was very poised. She was waiting to take the beat, taking what the defense was given, let the defense pass her on the block. And this is another thing she was doing. On the pick and roll, she would drag the switch. So if the pick involved, like, say, A'ja and Dana Evans, so the switch had happened and A'ja ends up on Clark, and Dana Evans just up top on the switch ends up on Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston recognized when the as soon as she recognized she got a baby on her, she immediately moved, like, takes her wall and pushes the defense with her, like drags the defense down to the basket with her and takes immediate advantage of them. The person who was not getting taken advantage of on those switches was Aaliyah Nye. Aaliyah Nye need more tick. Aaliyah Nye, another poised rookie. She is going to be all first team rookie. She got to be, because she has a wisdom and a calmness about her game. It was 2 possessions in a row defensively that I witnessed. I think it was either in the third or the fourth, where I think it was the third, but Aaliyah Boston did the switch with Aaliyah Nye, and Nye fronted Aaliyah and stopped her progression and pulling her down further into the paint. She stopped her twice mid-paint and denied the ball immediately. She was most successful on the switches in a way that Joy Lloyd and Dana Evans weren't. And to the other end, immediately off of one of those possessions, she got the ball rewarded back to her on a transition, and she hits a 3. She deserved that. She earned that. They did their thing, coming through with the victory in the end. Are they chemistry spots in it? Yes. I don't want to speculate because I don't want to put nothing in the air about a team that I appreciate and I want to win. But I will say this and ask a question. Why is it when Jackie and A'ja in the first few quarters, when they had the ball, it felt like when each other was open to one another, they would decide themselves instead of just pass off one another and then draw in the defense. And it felt like the ball was sticking in those situations. It almost looked elaborate at times, like they didn't want to pass to one another, Jackie and A'ja. I don't know if the offense gave them each an option to say, I'll take me or I'll give it to you. Whatever, I'm not speculating. I'm just saying what I observed. And what I observed was they wasn't passing the ball as crisply and as smoothly to one another. Second half, ultimately, A'ja ended up with 24 points. This is another thing I want to give note to. I've been saying how Chelsea looks a step slow. And to be honest, they all look a step slow. They all look like they've been worn a little thin. With that being said, though, Chelsea Gray came in this game and was an offensive relief like the Aces needed in a long time. They needed her. She was hitting down clutch shots. She was being aggressive both on defense and offense. She was putting her hands on the ball. She was seeing the court and seeing herself more as an option in the offense, and instead of making certain forced passes, she was choosing herself, and it was a great option. I do think Dana Evans needs to be decisive. There were multiple times in the offense during the game that I felt like a lot of people were just sticky. It was one play where Dana Evans was on the corner and she had the ball and like second guessing what she's supposed to do, and Asia Amney had to say go. But I would assume by some point in this season it has to be some gelling to happen for them to trust each other. It's still trust for me, because it's a lot of times where pockets of the game you see where you thinking they would trust each other and they kind of spuddle off the rails, but ultimately they got themselves in the game. Here's another thing I gotta say. Kelsey Mitchell, she her. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying dogs. When I want to watch basketball. Kelsey Mitchell, my God from Zion. Let me just rein it in, because I'm excited on recollecting how Kelsey Mitchell went about her business tonight. It just was the fact that there's no gelling with Indiana either. And the fact that DeWanna Bonner is out, it feels like a lack of consistency for Indiana every time I watch them. Like, they always have the ability to almost win, almost like Dallas. All the losing teams in the league are teams that you can look and say, well, technically they could win certain games they be losing. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a lot of games like that. Fever are one of those teams to me where they lose certain games where I feel like that's a matter of immaturity. But I'm glad we got the victory. VICTORY. Shout out to the Aces and to the Ethos. Tell the future I said so.